Welcome to the second part of the three-part series teaching you how to market your small business online using Instagram for beginners. In this simple series, you will finally understand how Instagram can help you grow your small business for free. I've grown my own Instagram accounts to several thousand followers without buying followers or likes or using any kind of shady system. So basically, I'm going to teach you how I did this, and I'm going to teach you to do the same thing and do it the right way. And the reason you want to do it the right way is if you do anything shady on Instagram, Instagram can actually shut your account down. So it's really not worth it to take that risk. Now, again, this is the second part of this three-part series. So if you haven't watched part one, it's all about creating an irresistible bio. Make sure that you do that. I'm going to leave the link right up here. And once you watch that, then come back to this video. Or the other option is if you want to watch this video from start to finish and then afterwards watch the first video, you can do that as well. And I've included timestamps below so that you can fast forward to any parts that you want or rewatch certain sections, and it's going to make it super simple and organized for you. Now, in this video, I am so excited because this is a question that I always get from my clients, and it's how to shoot photos for your Instagram profile. And I'm going to teach you how to shoot professional looking photos for your Instagram profile. And you guys, you're in the right hands because I used to be a professional photographer for over 12 years, so I've got you. And look, you really don't have to be techie because I'm gonna just really break it down and I'm gonna make it super simple and easy to follow. And again, you don't need any fancy lighting. You don't need to spend a lot of money. You just have to follow the strategies that I teach you and your account is gonna look amazing. Also, we're gonna cover all the different Instagram features that might be confusing you right now. Things like carousels, reels, stories, IGTV, and all those kinds of things. And again, I'm going to really simplify it and explain it to you. You don't want to overwhelm yourself by trying all the different features at once or feeling like you have to use all the different features. It is definitely good to use the different features to mix things up, but if you can just kind of learn how to do really good posts and really good stories, that's a really good place to start. And then later on, once you're comfortable, you can try carousels, reels, things like that. Allow yourself just to have some fun. All right, let's dive in. Okay, so before we dive in, if you want more free tips, hacks on how to market your small business on Instagram, please make sure you hit that red subscribe button below and also the notification bell so that you're always notified every time I release a new video, which is once a week. So how do you go about taking photos of yourself, of your product, of your services for your feed? Now, if you sell products, you definitely want to have some type of human interaction with your products, whether that's a person using your product, holding your product, wearing it. Now, because this video is short, if you have a specific question about your product or your service and how to take photos of it, please leave me a comment below and I'll be sure to reply to all the comments within the first 48 hours. Now, tip number one for taking amazing Instagram photos that are very professional looking is to take lots of photos. Don't be afraid of taking too many photos. Even as a professional photographer, I used to take hundreds of photos just to get that one perfect shot. The thing is, you can always delete them later. It's not like it's back in the film days where you're wasting film. If you don't like it, you just take it again. So make sure you take different photos from different angles, different lighting, and that should give you at least one really great usable photo. Tip number two for taking professional looking Instagram photos is lighting. Now, when it comes to picture taking, lighting is everything. And the best source of lighting is actually natural window light. So if you have the opportunity in your home to take pictures of yourself or your products in front of a window, that is going to be the correct color. It's going to give you the most even lighting. Right now, as a matter of fact, I am standing in front of a window and that is my only lighting source. So as you can see, it's very soft, very flattering. At least I hope it's flattering. Now, if your home is very cluttered or you can't take pictures in your home using window lighting and you're selling a small product, you can actually use a photo lighting box, which you can get on Amazon for as little as $20. So I'll make sure I leave that link below for you guys to check that out. Tip number 3 for amazing looking Instagram photos is getting that blurry background. Now, some of you may think that the only way to achieve that blurry background, otherwise known as a shallow depth of field, is by having a professional single lens reflex camera and having to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars. Well, you can actually take that same type of look using your smartphone. You can't take that with the camera that's facing you, so the selfie camera, it won't work. You have to use the camera that's on the back of your smartphone because that camera has that capability. So what you want to do is in your photo settings, you want to put it in portrait mode. And wherever the subject is, whether that's you or whether that's your product, make sure that the background is at least a couple of meters behind you, so that way it gives it enough space to be able to blur out the background. If your background is only a foot or two away from you, it won't give you that same effect. Okay, so here's another common situation. What if you don't have anyone to take pictures of you, or you're just kind of too shy to pose in front of the camera, or you don't want to always have to run on self-timer and take one photo at a time? Well, there's a really sneaky trick that I think you guys are really gonna like. Tip number 4 is taking pictures of yourself for Instagram. So the way that you do this is you simply put your camera on video mode and you record a video of yourself. So you just put it on either a tripod, a monopod, or you can even use a stack of books with a box behind the cameras. You just put it on video mode and then you pose in front of it as if you were taking photos, but you hold each pose for a minimum of 3 to 5 seconds. And the reason you want to do that is because of the next part. And the next part is once you've taken all the videos of yourself posing, you're going to go and play it back on your cell phone. And then every time you like one of the poses, you're simply going to do a screen capture. So then at the end of it, you will have captured a screenshot of each of those different poses. So it's as if you've actually taken photos of yourself. Do you like that little tip? If so, type yes in the comments below and please give me a thumbs up so that more people can see this video and get these helpful tips. Okay, so what if you really don't want to take pictures of yourself, or you're just too shy, or you're just not comfortable with being in front of the camera or having photos of yourself, or maybe it's just not relevant for your brand? Tip number 5 is taking free stock photos. So there's several different sites and we're gonna hop on my laptop right now so I can show you how you can actually access free professional looking stock photos for your Instagram without having to take those pictures yourself. All right, so let me show you here on my laptop how you can find free stock photos that you can use on your Instagram and you don't have to pay for. Okay, so there's 2 different ways. So number 1 is to Google free stock photos. Simply type in free stock photos, click there. Now there's a whole bunch of different websites. My personal favorite is this one right here, P-E-X-E-L-S, Pexels, and also Pixabay. So let's look into Pixabay just to show you how to download stuff. So let's say, for example, you are a dog groomer and you want pictures of dogs being groomed. You simply type in the search dog grooming and click search. Then you can browse through different photos. Now let's look at this lovely photo of this dog being groomed. All you do is you click free download and then you click which resolution you want, and then you would just click download and you can use them. Now that you know how to get those photos, you might want to add text over the photos. And the easiest way is to use Canva. So let's hop on and I'll show you how to put a text overlay on your photos. All right, so now we are in Canva, and here is another way for you to actually find photos that you can use and then also add text to them. So now you can use photos that you've already downloaded from those other sites and upload them into Canva, or you can just simply search in Canva as well to see what they have. So let's do that. So dog grooming. Okay, so there is a couple of photos. However, most of them you do have to pay for. But guess what? That one photo that we found in the other website is right here. Okay, so you would just add this. Now, depending again on the aspect ratios, which we're going to go into next, but I just want to show you how to actually add just a photo and then put text on it. So you would simply move the photo over to your canvas. and simply click text. And you can do a heading, subheading, depending on how big you want it, if you want it bold or not. You can change the color of the font. So let's just do like a nice blue, and then you can move it over. And then you just simply highlight it. You can go into different style fonts. This is one of my favorites. Anyway, so that's how you would add fonts to your images. You can add more fonts by clicking text. You can do a subheading, body, all that kind of stuff. So that's how you would add the text. All right, let's talk about aspect ratios. Okay, so here is a little cheat sheet by Mike Unplugged, who created a couple little cheat sheets, so you can always look them up and find these cheat sheets yourself. I'll leave a link in the description below as well. But essentially, the main thing that you need to know is that a basic post is going to be a square format, which in pixels, it's 1080 by 1080. So if you are designing your post in pixels, you need to know what to crop it. And in terms of aspect ratio, it is a 1-to-1 ratio. This is the safest way to create your post because you do have another option, which is this one right here. It's the 4:5 aspect ratio and 1080 by 1350 pixels. The problem with this is when somebody does click on it, it will show the full image. However, on your feed, which is the little squares that you see on your home page, this top part and the bottom part will actually be cut off. So if you have any kind of text there, it just won't look that good and it won't look very professional. So just to be safe, I would always recommend to use the square aspect ratio. You can use a horizontal aspect ratio. I've never really seen a need to do that. I do it with some of my thumbnails, but then you'll have some white space below and above your post. Now, Instagram stories as well as IGTV, they actually have the exact same aspect ratio, which is 9:16. And in terms of pixels, it's 1080 by 912. So again, when you're creating stories, just know that that's where you have to crop it. Now, in a lot of these softwares, you don't really have to worry too much about it because it will actually tell you what it is. Sometimes they don't say Instagram, sometimes it'll say TikTok or whatever. A lot of these will actually have the exact same aspect ratio of 9:16. So that's what you would select for when you're filming those. Okay, now that we know aspect ratios, let's take a look at some Instagram profiles and actually see how these apply and all the different features of Instagram and what everything means. So when I refer back to the aspect ratio, you'll know what I'm talking about because we just did the little lesson right now. Okay, so I'm just on a Business Film Booth, which is a YouTuber that I follow. I really like their videos. I'm going to just use his account as an example. So as you see here, posts, as I was mentioning before, as you scroll here, you see that they are perfectly square, so 1-to-1 aspect ratio. Now, this is a standard post, right? So you would click on that and it opens up as a square, and that's just, one picture and that's it. It's a standard post. So this is the thing that you want to just, perfect before you try anything like carousels or anything like that. Now, the other thing that I want to show you is Instagram TV. So this would be an example of Instagram TV. Now you can tell what's a video and what's a post because in the top corner right here, you can see the little kind of like TV screen, and that's how you know it's a video. So if I was to click on that, the video would start playing, okay? Now, anything over a minute is going to be automatically in Instagram TV. Anything under a minute would be just a standard square video. So with the Instagram TV, it opens up to that 9:16 aspect ratio. You see it's kind of like a rectangle here. So essentially, you really don't want to have anything up here or anything below here. The reason being is because sometimes your video will just start playing in the 1:1 aspect ratio. So you want to make sure that everything is within that 1-to-1 aspect ratio, even though it does open to bigger. If you don't want to do a preview, which means that you don't want the video to show up on your home feed, then you don't have to worry about making it 1-to-1. However, you definitely want it on your home feed because as people are visiting your profile, they may not necessarily just go to IGTV to be able to see this. Okay, now let's talk about Reels. Reels are very similar to IGTV, which is that 9:16 aspect video. However, with Reels, it's a quick video, so it's under 15 seconds. Now, the thing about Reels is Instagram will be similar to TikTok, where it's going to give you kind of special effects. You can add music, things like that. So it's a really great way for people to enjoy the content quickly. Okay, now let's look at stories. So stories is a post that will expire within 24 hours. So the way that you see that somebody has a story, or when you have a story, is when there's this orangey pink circle around your profile picture. So when I click on that, so that shows me the story that will eventually expire. It's a great way to promote your posts or just kind of share things or reshare. It's a great way to be constantly top of mind because stories show up on people's home pages and then they'll be reminded about you. Look at another account as an example, and this is one of my favorite accounts. You really want to follow this girl. She also gives great Instagram tips. So what she has done is she has created highlights from her Instagram stories. So Instagram stories do expire after 24 hours unless you choose to make them a highlight. And highlights are these right here. And basically what they are saved stories. So if you have a whole bunch of stories and then you can section them down to different topics, this is where you would put them. Now, this is a great thing to do. Start here. So if somebody is new visiting your profile and you have a bunch of engaging stories that kind of introduce who you are and what you do, it's a great way to save them here. So let's see what she has right here. So she basically introduces herself, who she is, and why she does what she does, which is brilliant. So this is what you want to use the highlights for. Now let's take a look at what a carousel is. So a carousel is basically kind of like a rotating post. So you can tell what a carousel is because it has this little square up here with the kind of shadow squares behind it. So if I click on this, there is more posts. And the way that I can tell that is there are little dots at the bottom right here, okay? So that means I can go over here and go to the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. The great thing about carousels is that they are interactive. So people will, click on them to go to the next one, and that shows interaction, and Instagram loves people interacting with your posts because it shows interest. So carousels will likely reach more people than your posts. Let's take a look at my profile now, and this is how I typically use a carousel. What I'll do is I'll kind of introduce one of my YouTube videos. So I'll kind of ask questions to get people engaged. We'll go to the next one and the next one, and then I'll go until I'm promoting my latest video, which in this case, it's the first video of this series. So I really like using carousels for this type of thing. You can use them with images as well. Instead of actually posting captions in your post, you can actually put everything that you want to write in a carousel. Okay, I know that was a lot of information. So again, please feel free to leave me a comment and ask me a question about any of this stuff. And again, you may just want to watch this video more than once just to kind of get reacquainted with what each feature is and how to use it. And in the future, I will be doing a lot more in-depth videos on each of these features and how to use them. But for the purpose of this video, I just kind of wanted to give you a quick rundown of different aspect ratios and what each feature is and what it's typically used for. So I hope that helps. And please give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying this so far. Okay, so now that you know all the different features on how to post, now you probably are wondering what to post. I have made this super simple for you. And in my previous video, I mentioned a content calendar. So I want you to download this content calendar, and I've left the download in the description below. So download this content calendar and it will give you 50 different ideas on what to post on Instagram. And then there's a printable calendar and also an empty calendar for you to fill out different parts from the 50 different ideas. So again, there's two calendars. One that has 30 different ideas filled out for each day, and there's another blank calendar with a separate page with 50 different ideas that you can fill in yourself. All right, so now that you know what to post, how to post, you are ready to actually go and find clients on Instagram, and they can find you as well. So check out this next video right here where I'm going to walk you through how to find clients and how to market to them on Instagram. I'll see you there.